Hi, this video is to help you get ready and be successful as you paint your animal pinch pots. Please pause the video and read through the goals so you know what is expected. Notice that you have 90 to 80% of your project that needs to be painted. If most of your animal is white, please talk to Miss McGarvey about what to do. And please know that you will have most of 2 art sessions for the painting of your animal pinch pots.
Okay, I have my bear and my fish here, and they have been through a kiln firing, which is great. That means that they can go into water and hold their shape. However, the clay is still porous, meaning kind of like a sponge, and water can be absorbed into the pot, come down and out through the bottom. What a lot of ceramic artists do is put glaze, ceramic glaze, onto their pottery after it's been through the first firing, and that will make it more watertight and waterproof. We are going to have you apply color with watercolor paint, and then after that dip them into a liquid called acrylic medium, and that will dry shiny and clear. What you'll first do when you start this next part of the project is create a plan, and that's called making a mock-up. The reason for that is so that you can be able to get started right away and not have to do all the thinking during class time. And planning just gives you a better chance of having results that you're pleased with. So I am showing here an example of my mock-ups. It's just a drawing, and you write in the colors that you want to use. So here I have my bear plan. I had looked at some photographs, and I noticed that the snout is lighter than the rest of the bear on a lot of the photographs. I found black noses often, I found black eyes, and so I've made up my plan. I'm thinking, I'm not quite sure yet, maybe pink inside the pot to show the idea that bears eat salmon, which is a fish that is pinkish on the inside. I might just do that brown. It's a question mark. I'm still thinking about it. And then down here is my mock-up of my fish, and it's was eye-opening to me. I thought salmon were pink or red, and they are on the inside, very pinkish, but on the outside, most of the photographs I saw, they were just gray. So I'm actually planning gray on the fish, and I've got my tongue color picked out, and I'm going to go pretty dark on the inside of the mouth. And I'm thinking I'll even do a red streak down the top of the fish, just for fun. And that's to let you know that if you do things a little different than how the animals really are, I'm okay with that. It's especially okay if the way that you made your animal, the way that you formed it, makes it real obvious that it's the animal that you were going for. But if your animal is really not looking like the animal you chose, and then you do colors that are way different than real life, it's gonna be really hard to tell what your animal is. And one of our goals is that your pinch pot animal looks like the animal that you choose for it. So be careful if you decide to do things that are a little different than how the animal is in real life. When you use the watercolors, I do want you to have a paper towel, and you will have a couple of sizes of brushes available. And of course, you'll have to have water. There's my water. I noticed that this paint set is quite dirty up here in the lid, and I'd actually like to do a little bit of color mixing. So I'm going to get my brush wet and use it as a cleaner here for a minute. Also, if you've noticed that there's a color that's dirty, you can use a wet brush to brush off the dirty area. And you can use your paper towel, just wad it up into a wad like that. And you can soak up the color that's not supposed to be there. And then I can also use this paper towel to clean up this lid area where I want to mix the color that I need. I don't want black on my fish, I want gray. So I'm going to put some black over here in the lid. Just quite a lot of tickling. Pulls more and more color into the brush. Now it's starting to get a bit dry, so I'll go ahead and get just a little bit more water on my brush. And keep on tickling. I'm using the side of my brush, not squishing the bristles down all over. That's very bad on the brush. And just pulling color over here to this lid section. Trying to get a good amount over here because I need to have enough gray for the whole fish. So I'm going to get some water on my brush and keep dipping in the water and pulling it over here. The more water I use, the lighter the color goes. And gray is just a light version of black, so I'm just lightening this up. If it ends up not being enough, I can mix it again. It's just kind of tricky to get it the same, but not too bad. I'm going to go ahead and just test this a bit here on my mock-up paper. Okay, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and now apply this gray color onto my fish. That's a little bit darker than what I wanted. Now remember I talked about how right now the clay is like a sponge. So it's going to soak up this color pretty quick and it will dry up pretty quick. Be aware of how much water's on your brush so you're not creating a mess on your project somewhere. You can always push the brush up against an edge and push off extra paint if you have too much moisture on the brush. Or you can touch the bristles onto the paper towel. And that will make it less wet. So see, I'm running out of this gray that I mixed here. I can just bring some more black over into here, get some more water, test it again on my paper, add more black or add more water till I have it the way I want. Okay, and as that even dries up a bit more, it will lighten up. If you have things light on here, then you want them darker, it's just a matter of put on another layer of color. The more layers you go, the brighter and intense it will be. Okay, so this lid here, this is a great place to mix up other colors that are not available in the color cakes. For example, if I want to do some blue-green, maybe I want to do the eyes of the fish blue-green, I just clean my brush, wiped out the lid here with my paper towel, get some blue. I can mix multiple colors here in the lid. And of course, you probably know this, but it's so important. It needs to be said often. Before I just go in here and get green to mix with the blue, I've got to clean that brush. So you just brush, pretend you're painting the bottom, touch on the side a bit, and get your next color. So it's that lid that provides the best place for your color mixing. Okay, when you're done, of course, clean your brush out. I do plan to have a bit of some white paint that is a different kind of paint that is thicker than watercolors, in case you have a big accident somewhere and you need some white paint to cover the accident. And you would just let the white paint dry, and then you can go back over and paint the color that you want. When you finish up for a class period, give your brush a good cleaning and give the lid of your set a good cleaning with your paper towel.
When I was making the video, I forgot to show painting dots that are a darker gray on top of the lighter gray to show that you can use the layering technique. Make sure this second color is darker than the first color. And also make sure that you make your mock-ups for each project. All right, that's it for now.